I'll say it on anger. So I was, as I said earlier, I was very out of touch with my anger. It was very locked down. It felt very dangerous. Okay. So I have another anecdote, another story, quick story. And I had a friend, a fellow traveler, as part of a step work group, and he and another person, the three of us got together, and we said we're gonna release our anger together. And I said, okay, let's try it. So we went to his house, and he, on the back of his house, he set up a board, a wood board, and he went to the thrift store, secondhand store, and bought all kinds of dishes and cups and glasses. And he said, we're going to take these and we're just going to throw them. We're going to throw them there. We're going to explode them and we're going to let out the anger. And I said, well, I don't know. I don't know if I can do this. So, but we did. So all three of us were there, and I just could not get myself to throw it. They were throwing it. I could not get myself to throw it. So they were there for a time. And then the other person who was the guest said, hey, can I use your bathroom? Can I use your restroom? He said, yeah, let me go show you where it is. They went inside, the two of them, and I started picking it up and I started throwing. And what I realized is at first, I just needed to let the anger out by myself. I had so much shame around it that to try to release it around another person felt too shameful and it felt too dangerous to me. And so I needed to try to do it by myself. And I learned to do it by myself first. And through a lot of it to me was journaling. And I had some journal pages, the pen, I'm just like stabbing the book. I was so angry. I felt like a small child in me. I hate it, right? And I had to sort of be alone to do that at first before I could start to share that and work with that with other people. That was my experience. But let me say one other piece. And this fear of losing myself if it comes out, if the truth comes out, if my authentic feelings and needs come out. Look, I think, we come into this world, we're small, needy, helpless, and dependent. And at some level, very early on, we know if the people in charge of us are not going to pay attention to us, we're going to die. I'm going to die. If the people in charge are not paying attention, if they don't love me, if they don't care for me, if I make them angry, if they're not happy with me, if they're not paying attention, if they don't know what they're doing, I'm going to die. And the truth is I would, right? I would. We are completely dependent on the adults, the adult caretakers in our life to survive. And so I think when we're raised in the environment of conditional approval as opposed to unconditional love, then everything becomes conditional. And the condition is, I will accept you bringing this part of you, but not accept you bringing this part. For me, it was, I will come to me with happiness, or it's okay, or it's good, there's no problems, then we're good. Come to me with sadness, come to me with anger, come to me with fear, and that's a problem. Because my parents couldn't handle that within themselves. They couldn't handle their own inner children. They pushed that away. So I had this sense very early on, if I bring my authentic feelings or needs to someone else that matters to me, I'm going to die. I will be left to die. And so how did I handle that? I had to start doing it and realizing that I didn't die. And I had to do it very slowly at first. And I remember the first time I really did that was with my sister. It was a phone call, and I won't go into the details because we don't have a whole lot of time, but it was terrifying. It was terrifying for me to bring, basically I had to tell my sister, it was not okay that you said this to me. And we're very close. We own business together, we own houses together. And I said, it's just really not okay that you did this. It felt like you were being manipulative. That's what it felt like to me. And I remember I said that, and she said she heard me. And of course, everything's fine now. We're still very close. But in that moment, I hung up the phone. I just started crying. Right. It was just like I said the word that just like I couldn't even imagine. There's things I couldn't imagine myself coming out that I would survive. But I had to start doing that and recognize, oh, I survived. I can bring this out and it can survive. And then when it comes out, then I need my inner loving parent to say, it's okay. It's okay. You didn't do anything wrong. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to have these feelings. It's okay to have needs. Right. That part of me is strengthening. Right. So it's an incremental process, and it has to start small, I think. But I have to build inner trust that parts of me can bring the truth to the world and that it can be okay and I will survive, because it feels like I'm going to die. That's how scary it is.